Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome to Deer Corner. How y'all doing? Getting out this morning, about 7:30, quarter to 8, and getting out walking through my wildlife orchard, I guess you can call it. I got 5 trees, bushes, and plants out here that bear fruit. And it's about 7 acres. 10 years ago, I used to have this in a food plot, but now I changed it around, given a lot of browsing, and put in a lot of fruit plants. It's like this wild cherry behind me. It's about 15 years old, and it's blooming, but don't get mixed up between a domestic and a wild cherry. They're different in blooming. And let me just kind of show you. This one's blooming now. Let me just show you how the difference is. So your wild cherry, they have a pod looking bloom to them. And what happens between this and a domestic, a domestic usually has 2 cherries per pod, but a wild cherry kind of looks like grapes when they put on their cherry, when they start putting their fruit on. But I have 8 of these down through the edge of this field down through here that are blooming right now. And if you look around, all the blackberries, and one thing I'm out here doing, and that's these plum trees, wild plum trees, right here. They're getting to the point that they need to be pruned. I got 30 of them out here. They're all scattered all in and about, all through in here. There's about 30 wild plum trees. So if you look back, blooming back in there, see if I can get that up in there. All that blooming, white blooming back in there, those are my mulberry trees blooming along that edge. So I'm going to prune some of these wild plum trees and move on. Now on the back side of where this tree fell across during the hurricane, it's where my son wanted to put that food plot, dove field, and we'll mosey on around there. Now these plum trees, or they're a bush. They say they're a bush, but they grow like a tree. If you don't prune them back, they'll just keep growing straight up. So what I'm doing is coming in and I'll cut the top out of them. Got a fire truck coming. Now I'm cutting the top out of these. And what that's going to do, it's going to stump their growth. They're not going to be growing up anymore. What they'll end up doing is growing out like an umbrella. And now's the time to do this, cut these back. So I'm going to go ahead and prune a bunch of these real quick. That's all there is to do. Back in here getting these pruned up, getting them ready to go. But all this haze and clouds and the fire trucks. About a mile, 2 miles from here, there's a wildfire. Yeah, I hope it don't get here, but there's a wildfire. There's about 1,200, 1,300 acres on fire right now over there. They're trying to contain. And that was one of the things about growing a habitat, or turning this into what I am. And it's come to my attention that I need to mow around it so there can be some control, fire control. And I'm going to have to do that this spring. But let me just bring you back around. And it's just full of blackberries right now. All right, this is the area that my son's going to go ahead and turn into a dove field / food plot. The down tree way back down in there. That's one that fell on a stand during the hurricane. But you guru food plots, planters, tell me what's wrong with this soil. Now it's a clay loam based soil. So just leave me a comment. Tell me what's wrong with this soil. But we're going to be turning it in. But right here, where this tree fell in, all the way back into there, that other 7 acres is going to stay in cover. But that's what we got going on right now. This spring. That smoke is making it really hazy. A lot of smoke right now. But I'm going to navigate on out of here. My wildlife orchard. I got blackberries, wild plums, cherries, mulberries, and persimmon growing in this area right here. So I'm going to have fruit coming up here pretty quick. The mulberries will be coming in about 2.5 months, and I'll be bearing fruit in August. And then the persimmons will be hanging into November. So this little bitty piece of land here that used to be a food plot is actually a fruit salad bar for deer. And that's what I want. So let me go ahead and get on out of here. Thanks for coming along. Hope to see you again. Got any comments, leave them. I will answer you. And if you're out and about in the timber, be careful. You'd rather be safe than sorry. And we'll see you again.